Tata Motors is displaying multiple fuel options here, and one of the display here is this Punch FlexFuel bioethanol punch, which is it supports E85. That means 85% ethanol mixture. And to talk more about it, I have with me Mr. Mohan Savarkar. Mohan, thank you so much for joining us. This FlexFuel is something that government is emphasizing heavily, and that has the potential of reducing India's crude import. Is it something that will go into production? Are you planning to launch it?
Sure. I'll come to that, Mumta, but give me a minute to tell you the rest of what's happening here.
Yeah.
So first of all, very happy to see that we have crossed 6 million total sales of PV this year.
Yes, congratulations on that.
Yes, thank you. And by the way, the last million has come in less than 2 years for us.
Yeah.
And then, of course, our
last year was great. Anyways, your punch was the #1 product in the entire country. So that means the acceptance of punch was phenomenal. So I would really want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you. And then, of course, last year was the third year of consecutive growth for us, fueled by cars like Punch, like you pointed out. And this also brings, the growth of SUV and the story of growth of SUV in India to its next level. So in the top 10 in India, of course, Punch was #1 with 2 lakh plus, and the next one was also in the top 10.
Yeah.
And in the coming year, we would like to see more cars entering into the top 10, and our growth continuing the way it has been. What has helped us, of course, has been our multi-powertrain strategy, where we have gasoline, we have CNG, we have diesel, and we have EVs, and so many things that are working well for us. And of course, SUVs in big numbers are going to be how India is going to progress.
And you know what's phenomenal about Punch is it's a small car, and small car sales generally are not doing very well. But Punch has seen a great acceptance. Now let's talk about Punch Biofuel.
Sure. So coming to FlexFuel, so like you said, India would like to look for energy sufficiency, and import bills always need to be controlled. By the way, India is a large and agricultural country with a large biomass being produced as a byproduct, and that is where you could convert this very easily into ethanol, and that ethanol is possible to be blended with gasoline in different percentages. This year, you would know that on April 1st, we are moving to a regulation of E20, meaning that all cars at
have
that
to
point of time need to support E20 calibrations also, emissions also.
Yeah.
It's already E20 material compliant. It will also become E20 emission compliant from April 1st. And then going forward, we have got this car ready for you. This is a 85% ethanol blend possible car. It can also do more than that, depending on how the government would want the industry to move forward. And this is the first car that we have made ready. In the exhibit today, you will also find our 1.2 liter Flex engine. Actually, we have 3 such cars in the exhibition already, and they're running around, so it's calibrated and ready. It's only the ARA certification that is still pending.
Okay.
But that's it, and we are fully geared up to make this happen.
Okay, I have a question. If I want to buy a FlexFuel vehicle right now, where do I get the fuel? I know there's E100 available, but E85?
No, even E100 is not available in India.
Okay.
So what the government has made possible today is that a few petrol pumps in India, you do get E85 fuel. Okay, so if there was a manufacturer that is, having a certified car in the market for E85, you could do it.
Okay.
But then let's say the norms for that are still under construction and so on. So we managed to get E85 in sufficiently large quantities to run all the trials that we want to, and we are able to do that quite well.
Oh, that's amazing. And how's the CNG portfolio working right now? You had the twin cylinder technology which gives out more boot space. How has the acceptance been?
So we're very surprised by the way CNG is growing in India. In our portfolio alone, CNG has seen a very big jump, and let's say all our cars below 4 meters are now having CNG options also. And this growth in India is going to continue as the Indian government starts laying more and more pipelines into various cities in India and makes CNG available. And we see that this is going to be a good area for growth for the whole of auto industry.
Okay. And what percentage of your entire portfolio right now is CNG?
Right. So for the cars that have CNG, it is 30% plus.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay. And would you be considering launching CNG in your bigger vehicles as well, like Safari Harrier?
So that's something that we are interested to see. We are exploring, let's say, adoption and acceptance of CNG in those car ranges. And if our customers would want to go for them, I'm sure the technology is good enough to make that possible also.
All right. So now, from here on, what are your expectation on growth? Because while 2024 was flattish, the same 2025 has its own challenges. In fact, bigger challenges because first of all, there are geopolitical issues. There is high interest rate. So, looking at all that, what are your expectations in terms of growth in 2025?
So there are two ways to look at it. The Indian growth story stands.
Yeah.
And we're going to see Indian economy growing. It may be a little up and down in terms of growth rate, but the growth is not going anywhere. And if that continues, we will see a lot of disposable income coming into the market, and we will see cars growing. Okay, the rate of growth may be a little muted this year, but we don't see that in the long term this is going to have any effect on the way car industry is growing in India.
And in 2025, what are your expectations? Which segments are expected to do better? Do you think smaller cars will again get some focus?
Not necessarily, but what we do see is that the growth will continue in SUVs a little bit more. It may not be as explosive as it has been in the last 3-4 years. You will see growth in terms of CNG. You will see growth in terms of EVs as more and more players come into the country with EVs, with our own products also coming in.
Yeah.
So there'll be growth in pockets, and the rest will be kind of stable.
Okay. You had a good year. You have improved your market share considerably. But when you improve market share, other players also start eyeing you a little bit more and start competing with you a little bit more strongly. So, how do you expect do you expect you will be able to maintain and increase your market share this year?
Oh yes. So it all depends on being able to make sure that consumers like you, they would want to come towards you, and you're in that consideration set. And then, of course, the products will speak for themselves, and growth will happen.
One thing that customers complain about, they are very happy with with your products generally, but service is where they have concerns. So, what is it that you are doing to make sure? I'm sure you also know that service is something where people have concerns. So, what are you doing to make sure that these concerns are met and they're taken care of?
So it's kind of that we have grown so fast that our service network is now kind of catching up, and you'll see that the areas in which we need to improve is the number of service stations, number of bays, availability of parts, upskilling everyone into the new car technologies, and these are the areas that are going to help us to make sure that our consumers get good service in the future.
So, have you planned any investment for that?
Oh yes, a lot is happening in this area in terms of number of service stations, number of people being employed by us, upskilling. So the whole works. It's
And
quite
can you
serious
give
for
us can you give us some numbers in terms of service centers? How much are you planning to increase it by this year?
It'll be a huge percentage, huge. And the way that we're looking at is service centers will kind of follow where our cars are being sold, because that's the best way to make sure that the people who need service get it.
Okay. One aspect of where I think Tata Motors need to improve is the way the cars are assembled, the parts, the panel gaps, and all these small issues. So how are you trying to focus on that and removing those issues? And of course, software issues as well, because software issues are becoming quite a norm, and it's not that it's just Tata Motors that suffers from it. Other companies, even luxury car players, suffer from it. So what are you doing about those two aspects?
So all the areas that you spoke about in quality are a deep area of let's say attention for all of us, and we are making sure that we keep on this journey of improvement of quality. Quality is seen by the things that you said, but also much beyond that.
Yeah.
It will mean gaps and flushes, it will mean software, it will mean things not breaking down, it will mean warranty coming down. So all these areas are in our focus in a very strong way, and you'll see that we are improving as time passes.
Thank you, Mr. Savarkar. Thanks
Thank
a
you.
lot for taking time
Nice
out.
meeting.
Thanks a lot.